The smell of burnt toast hits me before I even open my eyes. Mom's passive-aggressive breakfast ritual has begun right on schedule. I know exactly what comes next. The loud clattering of pans, the aggressive whisking of eggs, all designed to wake me before my 5 a.m. alarm. I'm Desiree, and this is what supporting your parents looks like at 32. Not the Instagram version with heartwarming captions and filtered photos of Sunday brunches. The real version, where you wake up exhausted in your childhood bedroom because your parents need you close while they're getting back on their feet. That was 5 years ago. Desiree, Mom's voice carries up the stairs. The least you could do is come down and eat with us before work. I pull myself out of bed, muscles aching from yesterday's double shift. The wooden stairs creak under my feet as I descend, each step a reminder that this house needs repairs I can't afford while covering 3 people's expenses. Morning, sweetheart. Dad doesn't look up from his phone. The same phone I pay for, along with everything else since he lost his job at the firm. He's wearing the new golf shirt I pretended not to notice on last month's credit card statement. You're looking thin. Mom pushes a plate of blackened toast toward me. Have you been eating properly in that awful apartment of yours? My apartment is fine, Mom, and I eat just fine. If you'd let us help you find a better place? On what money? The words slip out before I can stop them. The kitchen goes silent. Dad finally looks up, face darkening. You know we're doing our best to get back on track. These things take time. I swallow the bitter laugh threatening to escape. Time. 5 years of time. 60 months of watching my savings disappear while they post Facebook photos from restaurants I can't afford to eat at. I need to get ready for work. I push away from the table, toast untouched. Always running away from conversations, Mom sighs loudly. Just like when we try to talk about you finding someone. 32 and not even dating. I'm halfway up the stairs when I hear the house phone ring. Mom's voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper, but the old house carries sound like a megaphone. Eliza! Yes, the fun money came through. No, she has no idea. Direct deposit makes it so easy. I freeze. Raymond's been dying to try that new golf club. Of course we'll take you both. Desiree's too busy working to check her statements anyway. You should see how she lives, in that tiny apartment, while we— Yes, exactly. We raised her. She owes us this much at least. My hands start shaking. The world tilts sideways as years of exhaustion, sacrifice, and blind trust crystallize into something ugly and sharp. Did you see those photos I sent of the new patio furniture? Mom continues laughing. She thinks we got it secondhand. I know. She's always been so trusting, just like when she was little. I lean against the wall, phone already in hand, banking app open. 5 years of statements I'd skimmed, trusting their desperate pleas for help. 5 years of just until things turn around. The transactions tell a different story. Regular transfers to accounts I don't recognize. Purchases at high-end stores. Restaurant charges that definitely weren't from the discount diners they claimed to frequent. We'll see you Saturday then. Mom's voice floats up. Raymond's so excited about the new clubs. Yes, Desiree will never notice the charge. She's been such a good girl about all this. My vision blurs. Not from tears. I'm too angry for tears. This is the clarity of fury, sharp and cold and perfect. The bedroom door closes behind me with a soft click. I sit at my old desk, the one where I used to do homework, where I signed the papers to become their financial guardian, where I've written countless checks to keep them afloat. My phone buzzes. A text from my sister Zariah. Mom says you're being difficult about breakfast again. Why can't you just be grateful for everything they do for you? I stare at the message, at the years of manipulation suddenly visible in high definition. The guilt trips, the gaslighting, the careful construction of a reality where I'm simultaneously their savior and their ungrateful child. My fingers hover over the keyboard, but I don't respond. Instead, I open a new spreadsheet. Column A, date. Column B, amount. Column C, their story. Column D, the truth. It's time to start keeping receipts. I spend 3 days gathering evidence before I confront them. 3 days of digging through statements, screenshots, and emergency transfers. My spreadsheet grows longer, each entry making my hands shake harder. Family dinner, Mom texts. 6 p.m. sharp. Don't be late like last time. I arrive at 5:55 p.m., manila folder tucked under my arm. Zariah's car is already in the driveway, and I can hear laughter from inside. The sound makes my stomach turn. There's my workaholic, Mom calls from the kitchen, just in time to help set the table. I place the folder on the counter. Actually, I think we should talk first. Dad mutes the TV. What's wrong, princess? You look stressed. Don't call me that. I pull out the first bank statement. Want to explain these golf club charges? The room temperature drops 10 degrees. Mom's smile freezes. Or maybe these spa weekends, I continue, laying out more papers. The ones you said were doctor's appointments? Desiree? Zariah interrupts. What are you doing? Showing our parents what $131,000 of emergency support looks like. I turn to Dad. Including the inheritance you never mentioned. His face goes red. That money was private. Private? I laugh, the sound harsh even to my ears. Like the trust fund you set up in my name without telling me? Or the credit cards you opened using my information? Mom steps forward, wooden spoon pointed at me like a weapon. How dare you come into our house with these accusations? After everything we've done for you, everything you've done for me? The words taste like acid. You mean lying to me? Manipulating me? Using me as your personal ATM while I live in a shoebox apartment? We raised you, Mom shrieks. Fed you, clothed you, put a roof over your head. That's called being a parent. It's not a debt I have to repay. Desiree, stop it, Zariah pleads. You're being dramatic. I slide her the credit card statements. Look at the dates, Zariah. Look at where they were while telling us they couldn't afford groceries. She picks up the papers, hands trembling. Mom, your sister is having some sort of breakdown, Mom says smoothly. You know how she gets, always so high-strung. The inheritance, I cut in. Tell her about Uncle Robert's inheritance. Dad stands up so fast his chair falls backward. That's enough. No, it's not enough. I slam my hand on the table. 5 years. 5 years of working myself to death while you lived it up on my dime. 5 years of guilt trips and manipulation. We are your parents, Mom screams. Everything you give us is a drop in the bucket compared to what we deserve. The room goes silent. Zariah's face drains of color. What you deserve, I repeat slowly. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen now. The money stops. All of it. The cards are canceled. The transfers end today. You can't, Dad starts. I can and I will. And if you try to fight me on this, I'll take every piece of evidence I have to the police. Financial fraud isn't just immoral. It's illegal. Mom bursts into tears. The fake theatrical kind I've seen 1,000 times. How could you do this to us? Your own parents. The same way you did it to me. I turn to Zariah. Check your credit report. Check everything. They're not who we thought they were. I grab my folder and walk toward the door. Behind me, chaos erupts. Mom wails. Dad shouts. Zariah asks questions in an increasingly panicked voice. Desiree, Dad's voice booms. If you walk out that door, you'll what? I turn back one last time. Cut me off? Guilt trip me? Gaslight me into submission? Those tricks don't work anymore. My phone buzzes as I reach my car. A text from Zariah. Just check my accounts. Found weird transfers. Can we talk? Another buzz. Mom. You ungrateful child. After everything we've sacrificed. Then Dad. You're making a huge mistake. Family is everything. I start my car, hands steady for the first time in days. One last text comes through, from my coworker Clark. Still on for coffee tomorrow? Yes, I type back. and I have one hell of a story to tell you. As I drive away, I see Mom and Dad in the rearview mirror, standing on the porch. They look smaller somehow, less intimidating. 5 years of power over me, broken by nothing more than the truth. My apartment may be small, but tonight it feels like a fortress. I pour a glass of wine, open my laptop, and start a new document. Subject line: Notice of immediate financial separation. The real war's just beginning. You look like you haven't slept in days, Clark says, sliding a coffee across the break room table. Still dealing with the family fallout? They're relentless. I show him my phone. 37 missed calls since yesterday. I had to block their numbers. Good. You need boundaries. He leans forward. Have you told Freya what's going on? She's been asking why you seem distracted. Before I can answer, my desk phone rings. The reception desk. Ms. Mason, your father is here to see you. My heart stops. Tell him I'm in a meeting. He says he'll wait. I peek through the office blinds. Dad stands in the lobby, wearing his expensive golf shirt like armor. Several coworkers are already staring. I'll handle this. Clark stands up. Stay here. No, I grab my phone. I need to deal with this myself. The lobby falls silent as I approach. Dad's face is red. His angry face, the one that used to terrify me as a kid. Outside, I say quietly. Now. He follows me to the parking lot, practically vibrating with rage. How dare you ignore our calls? Your mother hasn't slept. How dare I? I turn on him. How dare you show up at my workplace? How dare you harass me after what you've done? We are your parents. Stop saying that like it's a blank check. My voice rises. You stole from me. You lied to me. You manipulated me for years. We needed help. You needed golf clubs, and spa days, and luxury vacations. I pull out my phone. Should I call the police? Show them the fraudulent accounts? His face changes, fear replacing anger. You wouldn't. Try me. One more scene at my office, one more ambush, and I'll burn everything down. He steps back, hands raised. This isn't over. Yes, it is. I turn away, then pause. By the way, I'm meeting with Aunt Gabriella tomorrow. Should be an interesting conversation. The color drains from his face. Back inside, Freya is waiting by my desk. My office. Now. I follow her, preparing my resignation speech. Instead, she closes the door and says, "Tell me everything." So I do. The whole ugly story spills out. 5 years of financial abuse, the manipulation, the fraud. She listens without interrupting, taking notes. First, she says when I finish, I'm giving you a raise. You've been doing senior-level work while dealing with this nightmare. What? Second, I'm having security block your parents. No more surprise visits. Tears burn my eyes. Thank you. Third, she slides a business card across the desk. This is my personal attorney. Use him. My phone buzzes. Zariah. Can we meet? Found something bad. We meet at a coffee shop after work. My sister looks different. Smaller, scared. She slides a folder across the table. I did what you said. Checked everything. Her hands shake. They took out loans in my name. 3 of them. Jesus, Zariah. That's not all. She lowers her voice. Aunt Gabriella called me. Asked about Dad's inheritance. The real amount. My coffee goes cold as she explains. The inheritance wasn't small. It was substantial. 6 figures substantial. All hidden. All spent. While I worked myself to exhaustion supporting them. There's more, a voice says. We look up to find Aunt Gabriella herself standing at our table. She sits down, face grim. Your father didn't just hide his inheritance. He created a fake trust in your name, Desiree. Used it to hide money from me. Money that was supposed to be split between all the siblings. The pieces click together. The mysterious transfers, the hidden accounts, the elaborate web of lies. "I'm pressing charges," Gabriella announces, "against both of them. The question is, will you help me?" Zariah starts crying. I reach for her hand. "Yes," I say firmly. "It's time they faced consequences." My phone lights up. Mom calling from a new number. I silence it and look at my aunt. "Tell me everything you know." Later that night, I sit in my apartment, surrounded by papers, bank statements, loan documents, trust paperwork. Each page reveals a new betrayal, a new lie. Clark texts, "You okay?" "No," I reply honestly, "but I will be." I open my laptop and start typing. "Dear IRS Fraud Division, sometimes burning bridges isn't enough. Sometimes you need to salt the earth, too." Another text comes through, from Freya. "Meeting tomorrow. Time to discuss your promotion." I smile. My parents thought they were breaking me. Instead, they set me free. The total amount is $131,220.47, the accountant says, sliding the report across his desk. That's not including interest or the fraudulent credit accounts. I stare at the number. 5 years of my life reduced to a dollar amount. "And you're sure about the trust fund?" I ask. "Created in your name, without your knowledge or consent. That's fraud." He taps the paper. Clear as day. I leave his office with a certified letter and head straight to attorney Dorian Ryan's building. The receptionist eyes me suspiciously. "I'm here about the Mason family trust," I say sweetly. "Raymond Mason's daughter." 10 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Dorian, watching him squirm. I can't discuss private client matters. Funny, I interrupt, because I'm supposedly the beneficiary of this trust, yet I've never seen any paperwork. His face twitches. "Perhaps you should discuss this with your father. Perhaps you should discuss it with the Bar Association." I lean forward, because helping clients commit fraud seems problematic. The color drains from his face. "Miss Mason, just tell me one thing. Was there really an inheritance from Uncle Robert?" His silence is answer enough. I text Zariah, "Family brunch tomorrow. Don't tell them you're coming." Sunday morning, I arrive at our parents' favorite restaurant. Mom and Dad are already seated, looking smug. "Finally ready to apologize?" Mom asks as I sit down. "Actually," I place the accountant's report on the table. "I'm here to present an invoice." Dad's face darkens. "Now listen here." "No, you listen." I open the folder. 5 years, 131,2047s, plus interest. "We're your parents." "Parents don't steal from their children." I pull out more papers. "Parents don't create fake trusts. Parents don't hide inheritances." Mom's face goes white. "Who told you?" "I did." Zariah appears beside the table, right on cue. "And Aunt Gabriella told me." "This is ridiculous," Dad sputters. "We don't owe you any." "Actually," I cut in, "according to the law, you do. Fraud is fraud, Dad, even when it's family." Mom grabs her water glass. "You ungrateful little—" "Don't," Zariah warns. "Don't you dare make a scene." "You're both conspiring against us." Mom's voice rises. "After everything we've sacrificed." "Sacrificed?" I laugh. "Like the spa weekends? The golf membership? The hidden inheritance?" "That money was ours." Dad slams his fist down. "The trust fund wasn't." I turn to Zariah. "Show them." She pulls out her phone, plays the recording of Dorian Ryan admitting everything. Mom's face contorts with rage. "You recorded everything," I smile. "Every admission, every lie, every fraud." Mom stands up so fast her chair falls backward. "You think you can threaten us?" "No threats," I say calmly. "Just consequences." She grabs the table edge. "You little—" The table flips. Water glasses shatter. Other diners gasp. Mom stands there, shaking with rage, as restaurant staff rush over. "I think we're done here." I stand up. brushing water from my dress. You'll be receiving formal documentation from my attorney. If you do this, Dad calls after us, you're no longer our daughters. Zariah turns back. No, we stopped being your daughters the moment you chose greed over love. Outside, she breaks down crying. I hold her tight, feeling strangely calm. What now? She whispers. Now? I pull out an envelope. Now I mail them this. The envelope contains every transaction, every lie, every manipulation from the past 5 years. The cover letter reads, Final Accounting, 2018-2023 support contributions. They'll never pay it, Zariah says. They don't have to. I hug her again. This isn't about money anymore. My phone buzzes. Clark. How'd it go? Table flip dramatic, I reply. But we're okay. Another text comes through, from Freya. Your office is ready. VP title looks good on the door. I show Zariah the message. She smiles through her tears. They tried to keep us small, she says. They failed. We walk away from the restaurant, leaving behind the sounds of Mom's hysterics and Dad's threats. Behind us lies 5 years of manipulation and theft. Ahead lies freedom. Want to get real brunch? I ask Zariah. Somewhere without flying tables? She laughs. A real laugh. Maybe her first in weeks. Lead the way, sis. My phone buzzes one last time. Mom. You'll regret this. I delete the message without responding. Some bridges need to burn. He's back again, our security guard says, pointing to the parking lot. 3rd time this week. From my new corner office window, I can see Dad's car idling near the entrance. 2 weeks of silence broken by his daily stalking routine. Want me to call the police? The guard asks. Not yet. I close the blinds. Just document everything. My phone lights up. Mom's latest burner number. I block it without reading the message. 10 minutes later, my work email pings with a message from an unfamiliar address. You're killing your father. He can't sleep. Please call us. Delete, block, repeat. Freya knocks on my door. Your 10 a.m. is here. Also, your father is lurking in the parking lot? Yeah, I know. She frowns. This is harassment, Desiree. You need to take legal action. I'm gathering evidence. I gesture to my growing documentation file. Building a case. Build faster. She hands me a coffee. Before this escalates. That afternoon, Clark catches me in the break room. Dinner tonight? You need a distraction. I need a restraining order, I mutter, but agree to meet him. My phone buzzes. Zariah. Emergency. Can you come over? I find her sitting on her apartment floor, surrounded by papers. They refinanced my car, she says, voice shaking, without telling me. Use my information to take out a loan. When? Last month. She holds up bank statements. They needed money for their casino weekend, the one right after you cut them off. I sit beside her, examining the documents. We need to report this. Already did. She wipes her eyes. But that's not why I called. Look at this. She opens her laptop, shows me a series of emails. My stomach drops as I read them. They created a fake trust, she explains, in your name. Used it to hide money from Aunt Gabriella. But they got sloppy, left the documentation in their shared cloud drive. My hands shake as I scroll through the evidence. Forward these to my lawyer. All of them. There's more. She pulls up another email. They're planning to claim elder abuse. Say you manipulated them into giving you money. They've been building this narrative for weeks. A cold laugh escapes me. Let them try. My phone rings. Aunt Gabriella. Are you sitting down? Because I just found something interesting in your father's financial records. That evening, I cancel dinner with Clark and meet Gabriella at her house. She has 3 decades worth of financial documents spread across her dining room table. Your father didn't just hide his inheritance, she explains. He hid mine too. Used your identity to create accounts, move money around. Classic fraud scheme. How much? She names a figure that makes my head spin. I'm pressing charges, she announces. Criminal charges. Will you testify? In a heartbeat. My phone buzzes. An email from Mom. If you don't call us by tomorrow, we're going to the police. We'll tell them everything. I forward the email to my lawyer, then type a response. Please do. Explain the fraud, the identity theft, the fake trusts. I have documentation for everything. No response. Driving home, I spot Dad's car following me. I call the police. Yes, he's still following. No, I don't feel safe. Yes, I'll hold. He finally turns away when I pull into the police station. The officer takes my statement, adds it to my growing file. We can arrest him for stalking, she offers. Not yet. I hand her my documentation. I want to build a complete case first. At home, I pour a glass of wine and open my laptop. Time to write the hardest email of my life. Dear Mom and Dad, I've documented everything. The fraud, the theft, the harassment, every lie, every manipulation, every illegal act. I have proof of all of it. Stop following me. Stop calling. Stop emailing. The next documented incident goes straight to the police. You taught me that family is everything. You were wrong. Peace is everything. And I choose peace. Do not contact me again. All debts, emotional and financial, are hereby settled. Goodbye, Desiree. I hit send, then block their final email addresses. My phone buzzes one last time. Clark, rain check on dinner? Yes, I reply. And Clark, thank you for everything. I sleep soundly that night, for the first time in weeks. Tomorrow, I'll deal with the fallout. Tomorrow, I'll face whatever new schemes they devise. But tonight, I'm free. And freedom, it turns out, feels a lot like peace. The IRS takes fraud very seriously, the agent says, flipping through my documentation. Especially when it involves identity theft and hidden trusts. I sit in the federal building, watching her highlight sections of my report. 3 hours of detailed explanation, bank statements, and evidence. Your parents were thorough, she notes. They were greedy, I correct her, and they got sloppy. My phone buzzes. Zariah. Mom's having a meltdown on Facebook. Check your email. The post is exactly what I expected. A long, tearful narrative about ungrateful children and aging parents. How they sacrificed everything. How I abandoned them in their time of need. Perfect, I mutter, forwarding it to my lawyer. What's perfect? Clark asks, appearing at my desk with coffee. They're doing my job for me. I show him the post. Every public statement, every accusation. It's all evidence. Speaking of evidence, he slides a USB drive across my desk. Security footage from the parking lot. Your dad's daily visits, time-stamped and documented. I add it to my growing file. You're too good to me. I'm just getting started, he grins. Dinner tonight? Before I can answer, Freya appears. Desiree, Aunt Gabriella is here. My aunt storms into my office, face flushed with anger. They did it again. Look at this. She hands me a stack of papers. More trust documents, more fraud, more lies. But these are different. These show exactly how they hid money from her, using my identity as cover. I'm suing them, she announces. Criminal and civil charges. The DA is very interested in this case. My phone rings. Zariah again. Dad just got served. Legal papers from Gabriella's lawyer. He's losing it. Stay away from the house, I warn her. This is just the beginning. That evening, I sit at my computer, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The post I'm about to write has been brewing for weeks. To those who've been asking about my family situation, I begin. I detail everything, not names, but facts. The financial abuse, the manipulation, the fraud. 5 years of sacrifice met with theft and lies. By the time I finish, my hands are shaking. "Post it," Clark says softly. He's been reading over my shoulder. They don't get to control the narrative anymore. I click share and watch the responses flood in. Other victims of financial abuse, people who've been through similar situations. Support, validation, understanding. Then, "Desiree, your mother's responding." Mom's reply is epic. Pages of accusations, twisted facts, emotional manipulation. Each word digs her grave deeper. "Send screenshots to the lawyer," Zariah texts. "This is better than we hoped." The next morning, Dad gets served again, this time with IRS investigation papers. Mom's hysterical voicemail goes straight to my evidence file. "You think you can destroy us?" she screams. "We're your parents. We—" Delete. Block. Document. Freya calls me into her office. "The board approved your promotion, and—" She slides over a paper. "Your raise. Effective immediately." I stare at the number. More than enough to finally move to a better apartment. To start fresh. "Thank you," I whisper. "No," she says firmly. "You earned this. All of it." My phone buzzes. The family lawyer. "Your parents received the IRS notice. They're panicking. Want to negotiate." "No deals," I text back. "Let them face the consequences." Zariah meets me for lunch, bringing more evidence she's found. "They're trying to hide assets," she explains, "moving money around. But it's too late." "Way too late," I agree, forwarding everything to the IRS agent. That afternoon, I receive an email from Aunt Gabriella's lawyer. The subject line, "Case update, urgent." Inside is a detailed list of every fraudulent transaction, every hidden account, every lie. The evidence is overwhelming. "We're filing criminal charges," the lawyer writes. "The DA is confident." I forward the email to my parents' last known address with one line. "You reap what you sow." Clark finds me in the break room, staring at my phone. "You okay?" "Better than okay." I show him the DA's email. "It's really happening. They're going to face consequences." "Good." He takes my hand. "Now, about that dinner." My phone buzzes one last time. Zariah. "Mom and Dad just got the DA's letter. They're crying about family loyalty and forgiveness." I type back. "Too little, too late." The war isn't over, but for the first time, victory feels certain. Not just legal victory, emotional victory. Freedom from their manipulation, their guilt, their control. I look at Clark, still holding my hand. Dinner sounds perfect. Sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. "Guilty on all counts," the DA announces in her office. They're accepting a plea deal. I sit between Zariah and Aunt Gabriella, watching my parents' carefully constructed world crumble through a conference call. "The terms?" Gabriella asks. "Full restitution, probation, and—" The DA pauses. "They have to admit everything, publicly." My hands shake as I sign the agreement. 5 years of lies ending in black and white truth. "They're broke," Zariah whispers. "The IRS froze everything." Good. I close the folder. They can finally live within their means. Outside the DA's office, my phone rings. "Clark, your office is packed. Ready for the move tomorrow?" "Almost." I smile, thinking of my new apartment. No more budget constraints, no more guilt-driven sacrifices. Just one more stop to make. I drive to my parents' house one last time. The yard is overgrown, the luxury cars gone. A far cry from the facade they maintained with my money. Mom opens the door, looking older than I remember. "Desiree, don't." I hold up my hand. "I'm here to say this once. It's over." Dad appears behind her, deflated without his expensive clothes and arrogant smile. "We can explain the fraud, the theft, the lies." I pull out an envelope. Save it for your probation officer. We're your parents, Mom tries. No. I hand her the envelope. You're criminals who happen to give birth to me. There's a difference. Inside the envelope is a letter detailing every penny they stole, every lie they told, every manipulation they attempted. At the bottom, in bold, do not contact me again. All debts, emotional and financial, are hereby settled. You can't just, Dad starts. I can and I have. I turn to leave, then pause. By the way, Aunt Gabriella revised her will. Guess who's not in it anymore? Their faces crumple as the final piece of their entitlement crashes down. Back at my apartment, Clark helps me pack the last box. You're really doing this. Moving on? I tape the box shut. Yes, finally. My phone buzzes. Freya. Board meeting tomorrow. Time to present your first project as VP. Another text follows. Zariah. Mom's crying about the will. Dad's talking about moving to Florida. Let them run, I reply. We're done chasing. Clark wraps his arms around me. Proud of you, you know that. I'm proud of me, too. I lean into him. For the first time, in forever. The next morning, I walk into my new office. Corner suite, executive desk, my name on the door. Freya meets me with coffee. Ready to crush this presentation? Born ready. My phone lights up. An email from my parents' lawyer. Final restitution schedule attached. They've agreed to all terms. I forward it to my accountant without reading it. The money doesn't matter anymore. The freedom does. Zariah visits that evening, bringing wine to my new apartment. Can you believe it's over? Not really. I pour us both glasses. Keep expecting another crisis, another guilt trip. Instead, we got justice. She raises her glass. To freedom. My phone buzzes. Aunt Gabriella. Just filed the final paperwork. The trust is yours now. All of it. I show Zariah the message. Karma's real. So is healing, she adds softly. Later that night, after everyone leaves, I stand on my new balcony. The city lights blur below, full of possibility. My phone shows one last message, from an unknown number. We're sorry. We know it's too late, but we're sorry. I delete it without responding. Some bridges should stay burned. Clark texts, dinner tomorrow? Yes, I reply. And the day after. And after that. My sister sends a final message. Mom's asking if we'll ever forgive them. I think about it. Watching the stars above my expensive new view. The view I earned. The life I reclaimed. Some things don't deserve forgiveness, I write back. Some lessons need to be permanent. I close my eyes, feeling the night breeze. No more guilt. No more manipulation. No more sacrificing myself for people who only saw me as a resource. My phone buzzes one last time. Freya. You're going to nail tomorrow's presentation. You've earned this. Yes, I have. Every bit of it. I've earned my freedom, my success, my peace. And no one, not even the people who gave me life, gets to take that away again. Tomorrow is mine. Finally, completely mine. Last box, Clark announces, setting it down in my new living room. Though I still think you should have hired movers. After everything, I shake my head. I needed to move every box myself. Make it real. My phone buzzes. Zariah sending a photo. Mom and Dad's house with a for sale sign out front. Their downsizing isn't optional anymore, not with the restitution payments and legal fees. They're moving to a rental, she texts. Dad's furious about having to work retail at his age. Karma, I type back, then set my phone aside to help Clark unpack. We're arranging books when Freya calls. Turn on the news. Channel 7. There it is. My parents on screen, making their court-mandated public statement. Mom looks small without her expensive clothes. Dad's shoulders slump as he reads their confession. We apologize for the financial fraud and emotional manipulation of our daughters. Clark mutes the TV. You don't need to watch this. Yes, I do. I unmute it. I need to hear them say it. We accept full responsibility for our actions. My phone lights up. Messages pouring in from family members who finally see the truth. Some apologize for not believing me. Others share similar stories of manipulation. The doorbell rings. Aunt Gabriella, with housewarming wine. Thought you might need this today. We sit on my new couch, watching my parents' public humiliation. Not with joy, but with quiet satisfaction. The trust paperwork is finalized, Gabriella says. Everything's in your name now, legally and properly this time. Another text from Zariah. Mom's asking if we'll visit them in their new place. Your choice, I reply. I'm done. Me too, she sends back. Finally free. Clark orders dinner while I unpack my home office. Between boxes, I find the original spreadsheet, my first documentation of their fraud. It feels like a lifetime ago. Ms. Mason, my building's concierge calls, there's a delivery for you. It's flowers, from my team at work. The card reads, Congratulations on the promotion and the new home. You earned this. Yes, I did. Every bit of it. The evening winds down. Gabriella leaves. Clark stays, helping me arrange furniture. We work in comfortable silence until my phone rings. Unknown number. Desiree? Mom's voice, smaller than I've ever heard it. Please. I hang up. Block the number. Turn back to building my new life. You okay? Clark asks. Better than okay. I hang a photo. Me and Zariah at my VP celebration dinner. I'm free. We order takeout. Sit on my new balcony. The city sparkles below, full of possibility. I have something for you, Clark says, pulling out a small box. Inside is a key. For emergencies, he explains. Or whenever you need a safe place. I think about safety. How I never felt it with my parents. How I'm finally finding it now. My phone buzzes. Freya. Board loved your proposal. Project starts Monday. Another text follows. Zariah. Found an apartment near you? Ready to be neighbors? Always, I reply. The night grows quiet. Clark leaves with a kiss and a promise for tomorrow. I stand in my new space, my fortress, my freedom. One last text comes through, from my old therapist. Saw the news. Proud of you for breaking free. I look around my apartment. No more budget constraints. No more guilt. No more sacrificing my peace for people who never deserved it. The final box sits unopened, labeled Family Photos. I pick it up, walk to the trash chute. Goodbye, I whisper, letting it fall. My phone lights up. Clark. Breakfast tomorrow? Yes, I type back. New day, new traditions. I step onto my balcony, feel the night air. Below, a moving truck takes away my parents' stolen luxuries. Above, stars shine on my hard-earned peace. Some people say revenge doesn't bring peace. They're wrong. Sometimes revenge is just another word for justice. Sometimes burning bridges lights the way forward. I've earned this view, this peace, this freedom, and I'm never giving it back. My phone buzzes one final time. Zariah. We did it, sis. We're finally free. Yes, we are. Free to live. Free to thrive. Free to be ourselves without guilt or manipulation. I look out over the city. My city now. Tomorrow brings work, success, love, peace. All the things they tried to take. All the things I took back. The night wraps around me like a promise. This is what victory feels like. This is what peace feels like. This is what freedom feels like. And it feels like home.